Here are 3 myths about the war in Gaza. I'm Dr. Elana Sztokman, Jewish American, Israeli author, anthropologist, feminist activist, 2-time winner of the National Jewish Book Council Award, and podcaster. I'm here to set the record straight about what's going on in Israel, to look past the rhetoric, and to face some facts, even hard facts. So, here are 3 myths about the war in Gaza. Myth number 1, the war will end Hamas. Well, that's just a fantasy. A macho, Rambo-inspired fantasy, I might add. Even some of the most hawkish policy analysts have said out loud that there is no such thing as ending Hamas. First of all, Hamas will never be defeated because it's a movement, not a weapon, and weapons can be replaced. Bullets can't kill ideas. Second of all, people can be replaced. For every terrorist that the IDF kills, they are also killing many innocent people by their own admission and ruining so many lives. So the tragic irony here is that the more Israel ruthlessly bombards Gaza and destroys lives and razes entire neighborhoods and communities, the more eager recruits Israel is creating. This war is cultivating the next generation of Hamas terrorists. Even Netanyahu himself has admitted that we shouldn't take his claims of victory over Hamas literally. That is what he said just a few days ago. Don't take it literally. So this whole, we will end Hamas thing is just an empty slogan meant to get us to support the war, to support Bibi mostly, and to stop protesting. Myth number 2, the war is making Israel safer and more secure. So this is the exact opposite of the truth. Israel has never been more vulnerable. Because of this war, Israel's incursion into Gaza has led to 3 more war fronts, each launched as a result of what we're doing in Gaza. Lebanon, Yemen, and Iran have all attacked Israel since we invaded Gaza. Had a ceasefire been reached, none of these attacks would have taken place. Has the war done anything to help Israel, to make Israelis better off, safer? Has it stopped rockets? No. Has it stopped terror attacks? No. Has it prevented any other attacks? No. Are we better off? Are the displaced Israelis back in their homes? No. There's only more displaced from up north. Have the hostages come back? No. I'll get to that in a second. We have hostages, displaced families, reservists whose lives have been upended, tens of thousands of injured, PTSD, and I'm just talking about the Israeli side, by the way. Okay, the war is causing incessant damage on so many fronts, including, by the way, the economy. If anybody's paying attention, who is paying for all this war? Israeli taxpayers somehow. And also, by the way, high-tech investments are the lowest they've been in years, and Israel's credit has been downgraded around the world, in case that matters to anyone interested in Israel's overall well-being. And we should also mention that the war is making the world less and less safe for Jews. There hasn't been such a dangerous time to be Jewish in the world since arguably World War II. Jews are afraid of identifying themselves, of being identified as Jews in lots of places, on campuses, in workplaces, on the streets. Jews around the world are afraid in ways that they haven't been in generations, all as a direct result of Israel's actions in Gaza. Had Israel reached a ceasefire, had we stopped all this, Jews of the world would not be in this position. So, just so we understand, the war does not make us safe. Peace makes us safe. For example, who rescued Israel from the Iranian rockets? Jordan. Why? Because we have peace with Jordan. Yes, peace is what makes us safe and secure. Myth number 3, the war will rescue Israeli hostages. Just so we understand, the goals of this war are not and have never been about saving the hostages. From the beginning, Netanyahu has described hostages in language of sacrifice. He talks about casualties and hostages, as if to say we should all be getting used to the idea that the hostages are not coming home. He literally tells that. In the very rare times that he actually speaks to hostage families, he uses words like sacrifice, as if to say hostage families should already consider their loved ones casualties. But they're not, by the way. They are alive. It's just there to justify the fact that rescuing hostages has never been part of the war's agenda. For example, in a very tragic and sad example that's really painful to even talk about, when Israeli soldiers were face to face with 3 hostages running at them, holding a white flag, talking in Hebrew, saying we're hostages, wearing no shirts, holding no weapons, our Israeli soldiers shot and killed them. They killed the hostages. Why? Because apparently it never occurred to the soldiers that these were actual hostages, because they weren't looking for hostages. Saving hostages wasn't anywhere on the soldiers' agenda. The soldiers are in Gaza to do lots of other things, not rescuing hostages. And think about it this way. In nearly a year of war, only a handful of hostages have been rescued, and some of them were accidental rescues. So last week, when the IDF was close to the so-called rescue of 6 hostages, also an accidental find, by the way, Hamas ultimately shot the hostages dead rather than giving them back to Israel. So Hamas has that option, which just reinforces the fact that there is no military solution to hostage rescue. There's going to be no grand rescue. Certainly there is none planned, and even if they were trying to plan it, it might not even be possible. So what we know is the only way to get the hostages back is through negotiation and ceasefire. The only way. We got 100 hostages back that way after some 50 days of war, but here we are nearly a year later, and that hasn't happened again. Instead of negotiation, instead of hostages returning home, we're getting body bags. Let that sink in. The war is not going to bring back hostages. It was never about that, and it never will be. The only way to get back the hostages is through ceasefire. I'm Dr. Elana Sztokman. For more content like this, follow me on Substack, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, or listen to my latest podcast, Women Ending War, with my co-host, Eva Dalek. The links are below. And if you like this, please subscribe, comment, and share. Thank you.